what I'm going to do is take one of these halves of tomato and put it aside and use that as the control, and then with the remaining half I'll perform a short, maybe 5-10 minute experiment where my hands will be fairly close to the tomato, but I won't actually ever be touching it. And what I'll be doing is focusing positive intent. It's a bit like me being a human tuning fork, I suppose. I've got I can imagine a shaft of light coming from above me, down the back of my spine, perhaps coming up through my heart or through my hands, and channeling into the tomato. An important aspect of healing, no matter whether you're doing it with a tomato or a person in front of you, is the idea that everything's okay. There's nothing really there to fix. I think the idea that you think that you're there to save the world, or there's something desperately wrong, the more that motivates, the more that is your intention, the more likely that you're not actually going to see any positive effect, because you're starting from a position of deficit, the idea that there's something broken or wrong. And that's, if you look at all the religions and all the philosophies, that's that deal with mystical experience, that's really what they're saying underneath it all, is that there's nothing there to be fixed. Everything's okay. And that doesn't mean that you shut the world out and you don't try and change things, but it means it's an effortless change. You change not out of fear, but out of trying to realise something as being a natural state of completion. There's no deficit there, there's nothing wrong. Doing this experiment, you can actually feel, there's a field that's actually coming out of the tomato, probably synonymous with what we would call an aura that you can see around people. It's just very subtle. It's not something that you would normally consciously register in your day-to-day life, but when you take some time to be a bit more quiet, a few deep breaths, you can it's just in this case it's just a light warm feeling in the middle of my palms. It's like I suppose I'm resonating with a tomato. The technique that they use, and I know that other healers can employ when carrying out a healing, is visualisation. It depends on what sort of person you are. Some people are very visual and they respond to visual stimulation in a way that their other senses don't quite have the same impact. And when I do something like this, one of the things I try and do is visualise the miniature level cells, whether it's in the body or the tomato or whatever it is. Imagine those cells filled with light and vibrant and all the healthy adjectives you can think of. You can really picture that in your mind. That seems to be a very important step towards a future actualization, trying to make something manifest in the future. What I'm going to do now is get the other half and place both halves side by side. So if you remember, this one was the one used for the healing, and this was the control half. So what we're going to now do is place a time-lapse camera above both halves, and finally we can focus on the idea of the ramifications of an experiment like this. What this really speaks to me of when I do this kind of thing, whether it's with a tomato or with a human being or whatever, is the power of intent. Tuning into an intent which I believe is inherent within the universe. you know, you can call it love or compassion, or you know, whatever label you want to give it. This is you know, I could do exactly the same thing. You could see from an external view that I'd be doing the same experiment, yet not with the right intent. And I believe if that were to happen, then you would see markedly different results with the experiment. But by applying what I would say is a natural and inherent intent in the universe, then we will see the results that hopefully we'll see in 2 weeks.